A beautiful Sunday. Let's have a run. Getting ready for the season. It's July, middle of July 2026, and it's just the time to get in excellent shape. And it's time to take advantage of everything what I learned over those years. I'm now 60 years old, and I'm ready to take everything what I learned and make the most out of it. I struggled with a lot of things. Last problem I had to deal with was a divorce. And this video is dedicated to every man, especially man, who's been divorced and went through a hard time and struggled to get back on their feet. Now I struggle with it just like everybody else. I got divorced. Was my pretty much third marriage. The first was one in Europe, and I left the country. I started completely from scratch with nothing, no English, no money, not even working visa, had nothing. Then second, I was trying to get working visa in the United States. So I married to a girl who was completely, a little spoiled, not really ready for marriage, and I just jumped into it thinking it's gonna work out. And it was all right for a little while, but then I got my working visa at least temporarily, so I could go back to trucking and drive and make money. And the third time, so I got rid of her later. And then third time, I was married to a girl from Atlanta, and we lived in very luxurious lifestyle, and it was awesome. But she had 3 children on her own, and I never really connected with them. They never really connected with me. We had a great time. It was never any big problem. We never had any fights or anything like that. It was just the relationship was great until the time when the kids were out of home, and then it didn't have any purpose. I didn't feel like I want to stay longer than that, and so I left. And it was great. Like I said, it was a great time. We enjoyed it. We learned a lot. And during those years, living in the United States for more than 26 years, I lived every each way you can imagine. I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment when I came to the United States. Then I lived in the truck because I was doing trucking a lot, and it didn't make sense to have an apartment and live in a truck anyhow. So I got rid of the apartment, lived in the truck full time for 3 years. Then I bought a convertible van, so I lived in the van while I was exploring more United States and looking for a place where I can settle. I really love North Carolina, and so I went up there. I was a river guide, and so I lived in the van. It was great. I didn't have to pay any rent. I didn't have to pay any mortgages. And then I met my last wife, and she had a beautiful house in Atlanta. So I lived in big ass house, 5-bedroom, 2-3 baths. I mean, you name it. It's just everything. And then I missed in North Carolina. I just knew I want to go back to the mountains, and so we leased a little cabin on top of the mountains. So I live in little cabins, and it was a great experience. But then the people who owned it, we leased it from somebody. They lost it foreclosure, and so we leased it another little house, beautiful house with beautiful small property in downtown Bryson City, North Carolina. It's called a Rag House, and it was in downtown. It was solid house, like built in 1970, I think, but it was beautiful solid house. And then we lived in and then we lived in beautiful house which was built. It was like a little castle. It was really beautiful, classic. It was probably early 1920s or 30s, very old, but a beautiful little house in downtown. And then we bought finally our own little farmhouse. We bought a farmhouse in Sylvan, North Carolina, a gorgeous place. And I restored the whole thing. We had a 5 acres creek. I mean, it's gorgeous. We had animals, cows, and little piggy and chickens and bees. I just loved that little small farming style. And then we sold it, and we bought a big ass farm with 18 acres, waterfall, creek, you name it. I mean, nice, beautiful house. And each one of those just was a great experience. And then there was time to leave, so I went to Colorado and I bought a camper, and I'll stay in the camper, big camper, it's a toy holder. Went to Colorado, and build my own off-grid. I always had a desire to live off-grid, and build a tiny house. And I built a tiny house off-grid in Colorado, in high altitude, high desert, gorgeous. And so I lived every each way you can imagine, and each one of them had some benefits, something which I liked, something I didn't like, and so I can honestly say what it's like to be in big house, small house, little tiny camper, truck. I mean, I lived in pretty much everything, and over those years, I learned that there's no limitations. There's no. I just don't settle for something. If you want to succeed in life, if you really want to enjoy life, you have to do what you really love to do. You cannot compromise on your true desires. Don't worry about what anybody says. Don't worry about anybody what some dumbass on Facebook says. What you're supposed to look like if you are successful. None of them matters. I lived all of those places, and each one of them was amazing experience. Each one of them had a huge benefit. Some of them had disadvantage which I didn't like. But over the time, I learned actually what I love the most. I love being off-grid. I love being in camper, and I love tiny houses, and I love being free. I don't want to be tied down to some big ass house. God forbid some mortgage for huge repairs. I've done all that things, and so everything what I do is just making simple and easy, and very low maintenance, so I can go and travel and not have to worry about it. And so, but the reason why I'm doing this video is just a lot of men, especially men, feel like they have to be stuck with certain lifestyle in order to feel good and feel like they're true man. You don't have to. If your relationship is not working, it's time to go. Pick up your shit and live in the van if you need to, live in the truck if you need to, live in the, the camper, get your camper. That's how you're gonna start your life. That will save you a lot of money, because the living expenses is the most expensive part of our life. You can always buy some used truck or used car and get to work and make money, but living is usually the hardest thing. If you pay $1,500, $2,000 rent, or $2,500 a month for mortgage and then insurance and all that nonsense, most of your money goes through the window. You're never gonna see it back. You might see it if you have a house, maybe 20 years down there, if you sell it, who knows? It's really risky. I would rather save money, make money, save money, and create the lifestyle which I want right now. So this is my advice for those who are divorced or getting divorced. Don't stress out over how you're gonna live. There's so many ways to live. Get your ass out there and get yourself free. Don't get stuck with a relationship which doesn't work. It's not functioning anymore. Maybe in some point there was good relationship. Maybe there was what you wanted. Maybe that was working out. Just it was perfect season for it. You wanted to be there, and both of you grow up together, and everything was working fine. But maybe you're on a point where both of you feel like you're kind of struggling to even stay together, to be around, be just enjoying company with each other. It's time to go. That's what I had to do many times, and nothing bad about it. There's nothing wrong about it. If it's time to go, it's time to go. Build your life from scratch. Yes, I had to struggle a little bit. Yes, I had to go back to work and hard again, like a demon. I had to struggle. I work now for tree service, and then I drive buses because I have a CDL. So I always make money, but I always invest. So I always get back on my feet, and I will be back again, rich and free, like I always has been. But the key is to be healthy. Work on you. And nothing worse in your life, at least go and work on you. That's all. I'll talk to you next time, guys.